Hello everyone, in this exercise we will explore sphere, Boolean union, dupe edge, and fillet edge to create this bubble form. Alrighty, so we'll go into all of the viewports because we'll be using all of them, and I will start with the sphere command. So I can long click on this icon to grab the sphere command, or I could just type sphere. The sphere command, we can click a center point, a radius point, or I can work with diameter and just click out a sphere. In this case, we're just doing it like aesthetically off the cuff. There's no really rhyme or reason for what we're doing. So I'm just going to start creating some spheres. Again, I'm doing this very quickly because I can right click to access the last command I ran. I'll leave a little opening space there. That's kind of interesting. I could be doing this in perspective too. Maybe I'll put a big one there. Too big. Okay. Maybe a little bigger. Nice. Okay, I think it's okay. Maybe I'll add one more over here. Yeah, it's okay. So once I'm satisfied with it, I'll run the Boolean union command. So I can type Boolean union, or I could click on this icon right here. What this does is it takes a number of intersecting surfaces and unions them together, joins them together. So what we see here is now one closed polysurface, where before what we had were a number of intersecting surfaces. Then we're going to make a line, and we're going to do it on the C-plane. Create this line that goes straight through the object from any given perspective. And we're going to take this object and use the split command. So I'll run the split command. It says objects to split. We'll choose this one. Cutting objects, we'll choose this one. And then that splits apart the object. So if we don't want this to be hollow, open, we can use a command called dupe edge and grab carefully all of these surfaces. I think I grabbed something I didn't want. Yeah, wherever that is, somewhere. I can just deselect it here, of course. Oh yeah, it's right in there. And then hit enter. And right now I've duplicated all of these curves, but they aren't joined together. So before I deselect them, I'm just going to hit Control J. Cool. Now I can do a planar surface command, which creates a planar surface to the bounds of selected vectors. You can see that since I had two vectors selected, and since one of the vectors was closed, or both of the vectors were closed, and one of them was completely inside of the other one, it understood that to be that it wanted a surface between them. So we could then select those both, join them together, and we have our closed polysurface. Another way of doing this, before we do the dupe edge, okay, we're back in time now, is we can just use the cap command that I showed last, which caps planar holes in the object. Very easy. But let's say that for some reason we wanted something a little bit different, or we couldn't use cap. We could dupe these, join them, and then maybe, for example, I wanted to have like a little extrusion here, or I don't even need to do that. I can select this curve, type extrude curve, and just straight down, make sure solid no. And then join these two and then cap, for example. If you wanted kind of a straight end to this bubble form. but I don't think I do. So I'll undo cap it. Okay, so here we have this form, and now I'm going to use the fillet edge command. What this does is I'm going to create a couple boxes really quick. I'm going to scale this down a little bit one-dimensionally. Okay. Cool. So what this does, I'll union them together really quick, is I can type fillet edge, and then I can set my fillet radius. And when I click on a curve, or edge rather, it'll fillet that edge. And we can do a few different types, but we're almost always going to do rolling ball. And you can see that this just softens that edge with a circle, essentially, of the set radius. Okay, so we can also do it on interior curves and do the opposite. Okay, so we are going to use fillet edge. Carefully grab all of this. I grabbed something I didn't want, so I'll deselect that. That looks good. And fillet that edge. And I'm doing 1/4 of an inch. It doesn't really matter. I could do, let's look at 1/2 an inch. Not 5 inches, 0.5 inches. At a certain point, you'll start to break the geometry, but let's see if this does. Break it because the radius is too large for the geometry that it's trying to fillet. And I can click previous edge selection to automatically grab the last edge selection I had. So let's see, you can see that that indeed broke it. So we'll go back, we'll go 0.375 maybe, previous edge selection, and that looks good. And it looks like this kind of small area is probably where it would have broken, or the reason it would have broken. Okay, and here it is. We have our bubble form. I will see you in the next exercise.